Today I want to talk about the Ocarina code handler system. Now, the previous segment I did an introduction to Wii RAM hacking using the USB Gecko. I love the device. I'd make Sweet Man love to this if I could. Really, a lot of respect and a lot of props going out to the USB Gecko guys. You know, Link, Nuke, Kenobi, all you guys. Really, thanks for the utilities. But enough ass kissing. Today we're going to get into the Ocarina code handler system. If you checked out my introduction to Wii RAM hacking, you might have gotten really interested in Wii RAM hacking, or if not hacking itself, but at least taking advantage of the codes that are created. Now, unfortunately, maybe you can't get a USB Gecko, maybe you can't afford a USB Gecko, or it just won't ship to your region. What Ocarina lets you do is it lets you use the codes that are created without a USB Gecko. Using a PC application, which I'll show you how to use in a minute. It's very straightforward. You can take the codes, you put them into the PC application, you save them to an SD card, and then either using the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess or their Homebrew channel, you load an Ocarina-capable piece of Homebrew. You can load Ocarina itself or the Gecko OS. In the latter, I prefer Gecko OS. It has a lot more features, and Ocarina is built right in, since Ocarina was built by the same guys. They've just been adding more and more features to Gecko OS. Expect more to come. So either way, do us all a favor. Do not taint the online gameplay with really lame and crappy hacks and cheats. It's really not about cheating online. It's really more about just exploring the games and bringing more to them. There's been some really cool things done with Super Smash Bros. And really cool things done with Mario Galaxy. Now, one of the disadvantages of actually running the Ocarina in comparison to a USB Gecko, Ocarina cannot handle more than 256 lines of code. Some of the hacks that have been created for Mario Galaxy are in excess of 130 lines of code. And, also be careful loading too many hacks. You can crash and lock up the system. So, be forewarned. You can't do any permanent damage, but you'd be within arm's reach of the power button of your Wii when you're first getting a handle of dealing with any kind of RAM hacking whatsoever. Now, there is an online database as well as the USB Gecko forums. I'd always recommend going to both of those before actually pestering anyone for any kind of codes. There are a couple of people that have actually been hacking codes without a USB Gecko. They're just basing their codes off of other people's codes, and they're just building on top of what other people find. So if you are going to get into any kind of RAM hacking just using Ocarina, and you're going to base it off of someone else's findings, please give them credit. Because credit is due where credit served where credit due. You wouldn't like it if someone took your work, based something off of it, and tried to take full credit for it. So, with all of that said, let's get to the PC side. I'll show you how to go and find some codes. We'll use the PC utility, we'll put them on an SD card, and we'll do some cool shit with Mario Galaxy. Okay, of course the first thing you are going to need is the Ocarina utilities. So go to the USB Gecko forums, www.usbgecko.com/forums, and make your way into the Ocarina forum topics. And right in the beginning, right in the sticky, the Ocarina SD card Wii cheating application. Go ahead and download the latest version. This is created by Link. Now, once you do, you got to go and extract everything to your computer. Of course, I mean, you can't do this. You really shouldn't be operating a computer to begin with. You'll notice there are two folders: HBC, which has an Ocarina folder. Copy this to your Homebrew, your Homebrew channel apps folder. And then we have a PC application, the Code Manager, right here. Now, the first thing you want to do is start out with a nice blank slate. We need to punch in the game ID, the game name, and we've got to put in some comments and some codes and such. So you can actually head over to the USB Gecko code database. That's usbgecko.com/codes. And there'll be 3 sections in alphabetical order for NTSC United States, NTSC Japan, as well as PAL European. So of course we clicked S and we went to Super Mario Galaxy, and it tells us that the game ID is RMGE01. We're going to paste this into the game ID. And we're going to name the game Super Mario Galaxy. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It shouldn't be overly difficult for anyone. Now, there are some pretty cool codes here. Let's see, we've got the fly when spin move is used, throw a fireball when spin moved, infinite health, moon jump is pretty cool. Skeleton Mario is actually a pretty cool
model hack, but if you notice, it's a really long code. Another really cool code is the Mario transformation code, which allows you to manually cycle through Mario's capabilities. Starman, Fire, Flight, Bee Mario, Spring Mario, etc., at will and reactivate them. But if you notice that this is an excessively long code, and you have to remember that Ocarina, without the USB Gecko, cannot handle more than 256 lines of code. So you cannot use the Mario transformation code with the Skeleton Mario code without the USB Gecko. So we're just going to go ahead and copy down this code. We're going to copy, and we're going to go and create a new code, and it's going to be Skeleton Mario, and we're going to select it, and you'll notice that in the code comment and category it'll automatically put that in. We're going to right click and paste, or Control C, Control V. Pretty painless, copy and paste. You can put in a unique comment if you'd like. No big deal, not really necessary unless it's a complicated code. And we're going to store the modifications, and it's going to say the data has been stored. So put your SD card that you're going to have in the front panel. I use the same card for my Wii Homebrew than I do for the cheats. And you're going to notice checkboxes on all of your codes. Check the codes that you want activated, remembering 256 lines maximum. Don't overload. And don't mix and match awkward codes. If you put too many codes in, you'll crash the game. You know what? We'll add one more code, which I'll show you exactly crashes the game. We're going to have to do a little... Where is it? It is Mario's speed. Alright, Mario speed modifier. And if you notice, this code has 4 X's in it. And down here we have values for which codes can be used, or what values. So actually I'm going to use 403F for the fastest one. We're going to copy this, and we're going to create a new code. Mario speed. And we're going to go ahead and paste. And this time we're actually going to put in the comments. We're going to copy that out to the comments. And we're going to take that one line that had those X's in it, and we're going to make that the 3X multiplier. 403F. And we're going to store modifications. Data is stored, and notice there's another checkbox. We're going to select this. So now Mario will move 3 times as fast. File. And we're going to export to GCT. And it's going to say, do you want to save all these changes? Yes. And point this to your SD card. Like I said, same SD card that I use for my Wii Homebrew. And it's going to store it to E codes, and then the title of the game, rmge01.gct. And we're going to click OK. Now I'm going to take this card out, pop it in my Wii. We'll load up Gecko OS, which has Ocarina built in, or you can go ahead and use Ocarina yourself, whichever floats your boat. And we're going to go and apply these hacks and codes and see what happens.
Alright, went ahead, homebrew channel, boot up Ocarina. I'm not going to go and showcase Gecko OS, we'll do that for another day. And it'll bring up some text, and it'll say press A on the Wii remote. It'll boot up the game, it'll search for cheat codes and apply them if they're found. So, looking for codes, blah blah blah, code found, applying the code list, boots the game, and takes forever to play. I swear to God, I hate these load times to these games. They drive me absolutely insane. And all of this is done completely without using the actual USB Gecko. So we've got Mario Galaxy going. Load up any file, doesn't matter as long as the codes are actually prepped properly. It really doesn't matter which file you're playing with. And if you notice, Mario's speed is 3 times normal. And according to the README of the actual instructions, if I press the plus button, Mario will turn into a skeleton. And there he goes. Skeleton Mario. And this is the preliminary, you know, Jesus Christ, he's like a hamster on crack. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. Shut up. Although this skeleton hack is pretty morbid, I like this a lot. Even when you're flying, you're a skeleton. How cool is that? Well, anyway, this is the Ocarina code handling system for the Wii. Remember, don't use these codes to cheat your ass off on online games. That's not cool. I hope you learned something. Maybe this will get you interested in doing some kind of code hacking whatsoever for the actual Wii without using USB Gecko. So that's it. Have fun, everyone.